It is March 23rd, 2026. It is 3:10 p.m. Yes, I'm in a restroom, but it's quiet. I am also at the courthouse, and my mind is blown, absolutely blown. I'm going to upload all of the images I took. I decided to go to the surrogate court, and then I decided to go to the municipal archives to look up everybody's ancestry. I looked up my family, Harrington. Um, I looked up my name, my father's name. I looked up my mother's name, Seiler. I looked up Sophie Turner. I even looked up Christopher Kit Harrington, Christian Harrington, my Oma, who I believed was my Oma, which is Utah's mother. Her name was Margaret. I forgot. I remember my mom told me once. Margaret. She was a Holocaust survivor in Germany. She's Jewish, persecuted. My Opa, his name is Charles. I never knew their names. Charles Seiler, from Romania, but also Jewish, persecuted. I looked up Sean Carter. I looked up, I forgot to look up Russ Fatale. I should have seen. So, as I was trying to say before people started being weird and hanging out in the bathroom because I was in there, is my mind is blown. All the persecuted people. Um, I didn't specify, but I did look up a few people. And the weirdest thing is, hopefully you can hear me. The weirdest thing is everybody was born in Cumberland County, Fayetteville, North Carolina, Fort Bragg. Everybody is born in Fort Bragg. Sean Carter's born in Fort Bragg. Well, in Cumberland County, North Carolina. Margaret, my grandmother, is supposedly born and died North Carolina. Charles Seiler is supposedly born and died North Carolina. Me, obviously, Fort Bragg. I looked up multiple Harringtons, Herr, Harrarr, all born in Fort Bragg, Fayetteville, or Second 72 town, all through the Secretary of State of North Carolina. Interesting, right? So it fascinates me how everybody, even Carters, are born Carters, Seiler, Harrington, Harrr, different Seilers, Sailor. I put in Christian Harrington. It came out Christine Harrington, born in, Fayetteville, North Carolina. So the Secretary of State in North Carolina, Vital Records, is a participant with the military not to allow people to have their ancestry remembered. How is it that everybody has a birth certificate and a death certificate made in Cumberland County, Fayetteville, North Carolina? It was like 68 pages on one person, 72 pages on another, supposed different people. And another thing I found was the life insurance policy scam for Charles Seiler, my grandfather, Utah's father. There were over 3,125 death certificate pictures, and they all had different numbers, so they were different death certificates. I checked, and they were all on the same day, February 17th, 1990. He didn't die 1990. He died 1993. So for 3 years, He was persecuted psychologically, community doxxed. It says he's a homemaker. He wasn't a homemaker. He worked for a living. Everybody's a homemaker, supposedly. There were a couple. There were some that said machinist, but a lot of them said homemaker. Some of them didn't have any, what do you call it? Any relatives. And some of them had a lot of relatives. So that means the whole family was involved in attacking them psychologically to do three things. So everybody's a targeted individual, actually, now that I see it. But it's to do three things: commit a crime, so you go to jail, you don't have access to your inheritance, and you pretty much forfeit it. Commit suicide, you're dead. At least they can legally say you're dead now and get your life insurance on top of that. Or you go insane. The same concept. Put you in a mental health clinic, and you are not sane enough to handle your own distribution of your wealth. On top of the fact that you didn't even know you had wealth because the government, the military are involved in assisting. Because I was born Fort Bragg, supposedly. But I was adopted because my birth certificate is March 7th, 1987. But it says I'm born February 11th, 1986. But I do believe I was born February 11th, 1986, to be honest with you. I really do. Why? I read my astrology. I'm exactly February 11th. So I was the firstborn. So if I get a blood test, it shows everything. And you don't want that. The United States doesn't want that. England doesn't want it. Hell, the whole world doesn't want it. Why would they want a persecuted person? But wasn't Jesus persecuted? Wasn't Mary Magdalene persecuted? That's why you all RAP'd her. And I say all loosely. I was in a church today. Ignatius Loyola. It was beautiful. Built on sacred geometry. Slightly off topic, but this was my day today. And I meditated, talked to God, was able to hear him because it's silent. It's always so beautifully silent. But God showed me that even though that church is meant to be holy, because when I walked in, I was like, oh my God, I feel happiness here. This is a beautiful church. This is really, Christ consciousness is here. And as I walked forward, it didn't feel holy anymore. It felt wrong. Something about the organ too. I don't know. I still haven't talked to the cards too much, but I told the cards it doesn't feel right. And they were like, you're right. But I couldn't find out why. But they worship idols. Idolatry. That is not the way of Christ consciousness. That's not the way of God. Just like with the pharaohs. I guess the bodies, maybe this is it. Because if the pyramid was a generator, this is a hypothetical now. If the pyramid was a generator and they put the body of the pharaoh, who is like a prophet, in there, and they preserved the DNA has the spiritual inheritance to generate energy. I wonder, let me ask the cards real quick. Where are you? Is that what it is? No. Cards are like, no, you're stupid. But does preserving the body does preserve the energy after death? No. When the body dies. So the body's not dead, so the spirit stays. The spirit stays. And the pyramids are built that way to maintain the energy of the spirit even after death. Wow. Mind blown. Okay, I need to stop this. It's almost 10 minutes. I'm on one today, man. I'm just mind blown right now. This is a huge conspiracy on how they've used people, all people, to generate wealth. And they've made it into a legal thing. And they've done it by killing our ancestry so we don't know that we have our royalty. That's probably why they don't like Ancestry.com. But that's probably why Ancestry.com was created. And that's probably why that app for like people that look like you was also created. Clones. Those are people that were, you know, eggs and sperm that were extracted illegally to create somebody, your brother or sister that you don't even know, for organ harvesting. And I heard something, so that's confirmation. This is a huge governmental thing that not all people know. I'm gonna leave it at that because there's too much stuff. I'm off in a philosophical moment, and this is just wow. And the pyramids, that's wow. I got to think about a lot of this.